coming here, I lost a water bottle on my car. It
was on your bike and then...
Yeah, it hit a bump and they both popped out. One got caught, and the other one cracked open.
Ready, go.
Were there any pro girls behind us, or was this it? Yeah.
Yeah, there is a couple.
There's a couple?
Hey everyone, now that we got that preliminary conversation and starting line over, just gonna say hello. This is George. I'm gonna try some voice overlays this video instead of the usual pop-ups that I've been doing. To start out, I just wanted to mention the American Porphyria Foundation, which is who I ride for. I do so to thank them for some of the help they gave me with my condition. They helped advance some treatments that actually allow me to compete at this level. I used to ride mountain bikes prior casually, but I could never be outside in the sun frequently enough to train to compete at this level. I would race occasionally in Cat 2. Be lucky to finish middle to back end of the pack because I could maybe get 3-4 hours of riding in a week on a good week. So American Porphyria Foundation, their links are on my channel. You can check it out and learn a little bit about porphyria. The type I have gives me extreme sun sensitivity, something I've had to live with since around 2nd grade. So check it out. If you do charitable giving, please keep them in mind. And I'll get on with the show here. So the race here at Iron Hill, this was my 2nd of the year, 3rd for the series, and very low registration based on the conditions of cold and rain. Starting temperature here, as we see on the race, is about 48 degrees, and it was lightly raining in the beginning. Of course, in the beginning here, wasn't too bad. It was wet, but the mud was somewhat grippy. The roots were decently grippy. Given the people who did show up for the race, I knew that my chances of really competing for any position better is going to be slim to none. So I kind of took the approach of just getting in my laps, getting some good work and exercise on trails, try to keep the bike upright, avoid incident, and not worry too much about position. So do start out slow. I am a bit skittish on some of this slick, muddy stuff due to an accident I had in a race a couple years ago. Ended up with a concussion and several stitches by pushing the boundaries. So it takes me a while to get comfortable in this. I did set up the bike specifically with mud tires for the day with the Bontrager X4 on the front, and I borrowed a Maxxis Forecaster for the rear, which hooked up great, made a lot of this climbing much easier, much more efficient.
My drivetrain's not liking it already.
Talking to the rider behind me there, I could hear my drivetrain starting to click already from the conditions. So let this run a bit and pop in when there are some areas to comment on. So weaving through here, this course typically very fast. One that I like a lot of technical features, which I'm pretty good at rolling through at speed. Just didn't have confidence on this lap in particular on how much grip I'd have in braking zones and for turns. So still just staying pretty medium and light speed at this point, just to get a feel for the tires and the course.
You need it? Go ahead. Thank you. Yep.
We had 7 riders pre-reg. I think there were 7 or 8 of us at the line there. That guy who just passed me rather easily, if I might say, I think he was just a late arrival to the line. Started after, caught us there. But also probably another rider that, had I been going race pace, he would have pulled away with the front group as well. So wasn't concerned, still just more focused on taking this whole race kind of as a training ride.
Okay.
I was pretty disappointed with myself on that one. It's pretty simple but high log over. Wasn't sure those logs would be slick or grippy. Guy that was following, he did mention as he went by that they had good grip. Several log overs that I don't recall being on this course that were there this year. I think I walk pretty much all of them on the first lap, at least any of the ones that are significant. But through the race on laps 2 or 3, I either clean all of them at least once, or get them both on both laps. I really was still struggling with confidence on what was going to happen and how slick stuff was going to be. So I knew this would be a hard one to watch back. Much better technical rider than what I'm showing here, but you know, it's slick and taking my time. Have to laugh at that one a little bit. As I'm coming up, I'm like, F that, not today. But that one was tricky. There was a good line to the left on it that I take on laps 2 and 3. It's kind of a steeper one on the downside, so it was a little tricky because there's that tree right there. But it really wasn't that bad. All the log overs, I think the wood was so saturated it did have good grip on it, nothing too greasy on them. There's a couple that are a bit tricky because they're a little bit off camber, off perpendicular from the trail. So they were at an angle, and tried my best to set myself up to be perpendicular to them. And on some of the later ones, if I decided not to do them, a lot of times it was just because I didn't have a good approach angle on them. Not so much my confidence. And then second is, as this race goes on, we'll see the camera get pretty well speckled with mud. My glasses, which I wear, certainly were getting that too, which is really reducing my field of vision available to see. And they are script glasses too, so it's just adding some difficulty to an already challenging situation. Just really appreciating the encouragement from the marshals and stuff. At this point, that guy saying, "Doing good, man," almost made me mad because I knew I wasn't. But as the race went on, I think a lot of these course marshals and race officials, they were just glad that they had enough people to pull the event off, and to see people still out there turning out laps as the conditions were continuing to diminish. I think they were just glad to see it. So it was certainly nice to hear, and a good boost when you pass those guys.
Well, it's gonna be a long day out here, but getting some confidence ever since my Yosemite wreck and shit like this. Really tough for me to get to race speed and slop. Goal at this point to finish unscathed, get some decent series points, a little bit of fitness to boot. Kind of the goal from the beginning. I knew who was showing up, probably gonna be unlikely I'd be able to keep up with them anyways. Certainly not safely.
So this race I do give some commentary on the bike like that a couple times, and notice the camera's starting to splotch up. My glasses, if you can imagine, are splotching up the same way. This camera is only about a 1 by 1 inch square, and it does clear a bit at times, but from this point forward there's going to be some on there. I do clear the camera once. Wish I would have known how well it worked at the time, because it did work pretty well.
Little cut out here on the most technical part of the course for the rain.
There's a couple little short, punchy, steep climbs like that through the race, and the forecaster that Ed let me borrow for the rear was just awesome on it. I was able to climb everything with solid grip. Didn't feel like I was getting much if any, slip, so I could put down some decent power on those climbs and still have it engage. Those two little log overs, branch overs, I guess you could call them, I just messed up. Those were some of those ones that, as I was stating a little earlier, were a little off the 90-degree that you want to meet a log at, especially wet. I think I had a combination of a little bit of lack of confidence on them and not really good speed. I think the first one, my rear wheel slipped out, and I tried to paddle through with a foot and didn't build up momentum for the second. So both pretty pathetic attempts at getting over a simple branch, but you know, happens on a day like today. Given that I knew what conditions would be like today too, I didn't come very prepared. I had my regular race kit, bib shorts, short sleeve jersey. I did bring some arm sleeves. I didn't use them. I put on this rain jacket for warm up. Given how cold it was, I figured I'd just try using it to keep me warm and keep some of the moisture off me. Worked pretty well, but wasn't the most comfortable thing. Kept hearing what I thought was people coming up behind me. It was just the jacket itself. So I did a lot of look behinds, and because of that, it actually turned out at times I was missing when actual people were coming up on me. So that was kind of unfortunate. Didn't bring a skull cap either, or any kind of hat to wear under my helmet, which would have really helped, and probably could have went with short sleeves without it. But all that said, I was such a muddy mess at the end. It was probably better that I had the rain jacket because cleanup was a little bit easier. Only had my legs to worry about. That section there, I think, was actually coming through the bottom of the mega dip. They took that out, as well as I mentioned on the video from the bike, there was a cutout to remove the most technical section of rocks for weather as well. It did have a fast section that is like 2 or 3 mini mega dips in a row. That was kind of fun. Had a nice stream of water down the center. It was pretty solid. Wasn't too bad. It was one of those spots that you could get a little bit of speed. About halfway through the first lap here now. You can see time-wise how the lap's going to work out. Was still feeling pretty slow at this point, and obviously looking slow, but it was interesting afterwards seeing the lap times. Wasn't overly bad compared to the massive folks that were riding through. It's just one of those days that hard to attack anything when you're in the mud. You put down any power and you're going to slide out, so you got to find that happy medium of keeping your cadence up to get to speed, and hoping that you can brake and get the bike over enough on the side knobs to maybe get some traction in those turns. Yeah, so there, I got a nice blotch of mud on the head unit. Couldn't really read it anymore, so wiped that off, and it made me think, yeah, let's try to wipe the camera. Gave it a good look, and wiped it off. Really effective, but I had no way of knowing, and it looked to be a mess still when I looked down at it. So for the rest of the race, kind of forget about wiping off the camera. I think part of it was because I was just too focused on keeping eyes on the trail. My glasses were really splotching up. I wasn't finding good ways to clean those up. So as the camera splotches up now, it will remain so unless, you know, there are some wet sections and the rain starts coming again. It does wash it out a little bit, but I think pretty much for the rest of the race there's going to be some form of mud spot on it the rest of the way.
A little nasty out here. Thank you. Can't do them. Yeah. That felt good. Try it.
Trying to coach myself up to do it next time. Mad at myself for not just taking it. Once I walked it, I could feel how solid and grippy the wood was, so coach myself up, and I do get it next lap if you hang around long enough on the video to watch it. Downhill here is one of my favorite sections on the course to ride. You can really bomb through it. Just kind of picking my way, and they kind of ramped this stuff up. And the braking area down here for the turn was really slick, so went through kind of slow that first time to see how it would be. Did a little faster through the tech sections, but that last turn was really slick, tough to slow down for. Decent little log over there that I just kind of took with the flow. Just rode right over it with a quick little move. I was kind of a little bit more in the zone here, feeling comfortable with what the bike can do.
You got it?
This end section with the technical stuff, I usually like to go left, a little more technical, steeper, but it's more direct route. But given the speckling of my glasses and the coloring of the trail looking so similar with everything being wet, really had trouble picking it up that first lap. Couldn't see it, so went wide to the easier line, but didn't really care. I wasn't really fighting for position, but just you know, still wanted that line. I think I do eventually get to it on the third lap, maybe. Can't recall, but just winding out the lap here almost to the end. And then on to lap 2, where I do pick up the pace a bit. Here's one of those punchy climbs. Forecaster was just a champ up there. The mud was obviously making you work, hence my comment there. The guy on the side, I guess,
kill us.
failed
Overlapped, you know?
sliding out, would be my guess. did move the start-finish line. It's usually right around that turn. They moved it up more closer to where they have the portage-ons this year, maybe just so those guys didn't have to sit in the mud. This whole section here was really thick peanut buttery mud, difficult to traverse these turns, keep the bike up. I was slipping out everywhere, but glad to be done with lap 1. That said, the rain, just as the forecast said, was starting to fall pretty heavy now. I think from 9 o'clock till around 11, the chance of rain was in the high 70%. Really started coming down at this point. Had good feel of confidence for how the bike was handling. Come a little up tempo more on the second lap, but the conditions of the trail get much worse from everybody coming around one time. It's rutted a little bit more, and with a lot of rainfall, get a lot more water and thicker mud. So even though I feel I ride much better here on the second lap, I do have a negative split of about 2 minutes. Wasn't keeping up on fluids very well. The bottle that I was carrying was already caked, so would just get it as I needed, which was very rare, typically right around the end of the lap there. Rain is picking up a good bit at this point, and you get some water that washes out the mud somewhat on the camera. It's amazing. It kind of keeps the center and where my hands are generally pretty clear. If you can imagine, this is what my glasses are looking like too. There's a bigger field of vision, so I was finding some areas where I could peek through and see stuff, and it would be self-clearing somewhat as well, but it was starting to get very difficult to see. So, you know, made for a challenging ride, even though I had my confidence and was kind of attacking the course a little bit more on this lap. Do the YouTube channel plug here. If you do like my content, please like, subscribe, maybe share this out to some friends. I plan on videoing all my races this year, so hopefully we'll have them all up and get some decent content as I go on and learn some new ways to edit. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Yep.
Have a safe one. All right, get some confidence in what these tires can do. Feel a little better. Gonna try to stay within that without getting overconfident. Trying to keep a nice tempo so I can get all three in.
This climb here is long and tough, much steeper now that I see the grade after the fact than it looks when you're riding it. I remember during the ride thinking that I wish I could just push a higher gear or go a little faster, but in the mud, really hard to put any power down on this, and seeing, 16, 17% grade for a mountain bike climb that's as long as this one. I think even in the easier parts, it's still around 12, 13%, and it's quite a long climb. So definitely a lot of effort on that hill all day. typically treat the GoPro with some Rain-X to help it shed water, mud and stuff. It's been a while since I did it. I did do it right after this race. It certainly doesn't help. But if French Creek this coming week is muddy again, I'm hoping that we'll have a little bit better performance. If you're like me, you're probably yelling at the video to wipe the damn camera off again. But at this point, I'm really focused on just seeing. Glass is getting really splotched up, and kind of forgot about the fact that I'm even taking the footage, at least certainly not as a priority to keep the camera clean at this point. A lot more spitting going on too, if you can imagine. You know, the camera getting so clogged up, my glasses getting clogged up, you get a lot of mud in your mouth as well. So trying to get that out as best I can when it happens. section here down by the highway, kind of exiting the highway portion, was just a complete mud bog. It was a little bit of an S-turn. Can't really see the details now with all the mud obscuring, but it just got deeper and deeper as the day went on. Interesting note too, there were no photographers on site for the race. Typically first place photo or another company will come and take shots of everybody. If I recall, when they did the race at Neshaminy years ago, the one that I did wreck at, similar conditions, they had lots of fallout from their equipment getting wrecked a bit from being in the rain all day. So my guess is that they just decided not to have anyone come take pictures, or the people who were lined up to just opted out for the weather. The food truck that was supposed to be there today also opted out for weather. And really, when I arrived, maybe an hour before the start time, I was able to park in the upper lot. There were still several spots left, so greatly lightly attended, like I said. And really, this video and videos and/or pictures that others took themselves, probably all that will be there to document the fun in the mud. That section was basically the mini mega dip they had. It was 2 or 3 little up downs in a row that you could keep some speed on. This section here was pretty fast, but on those turns it was kind of loose. If you could stay in the track where the water was, it's kind of solid underneath. So I was trying to do that both to clean off my glasses, the camera, and keep traction.
Yeah.
kept expecting to be caught by the female pros at some point. Here I am about halfway through the second lap, maybe a little further, and still no sign of them. I checked the standings afterwards. It looked like both of them had a first and second lap at an hour or over, and I don't think either attempted a third or they were unable to finish the third. So they each only had 2 full laps in. So one positive, I guess, was that one of my goals sometimes is to hold off the pro girls as long as possible, and they didn't catch me this day, so that was good.
Pat it. Can't see.
Mad at myself on that log over. Had good approach and everything on it, but my vision was really obstructed. Just didn't trust what I was seeing, so gave up on it. And would have made it had I stuck it out, but the level of trust on some of these things that you needed without seeing was pretty high, and I just didn't have it for that one. I was kind of upset with myself. Does clear up a little bit as the water beads and pushes through the mud, but at this point just messy out.
Thank you.
Yeah, encouragement like that was very helpful at this point. Obviously on the camera, it's hard to even tell where I'm riding, what I'm doing, so commentary is even tough to come up with. Just looking at the map there in the bottom left, I can tell I'm coming to the close of the lap, but it does clear up a little bit as we go, but pretty much this is going to be visibility for the rest of the way through. Some of the mistakes here just happening because can't really see the line, so you're taking your best guess, and sometimes you miss obstacles there. I think I hit a rock or something that just was blocked by mud on my glasses, so something that typically would have zoomed right through, stopped me, and I tried to just spit on the glasses and get them cleaned up a little bit. It's very minimally effective, but did get me going again. That turn there, I wanted to go left. Just the visibility I had, it looked like the trail was going to go left. Ended up right on the tape and realized it was a right-hand turn, so I had to hit the brakes real hard there and turn right. think what I will do next time I race in mud like this, probably bring 2 bottles, one with water only and one with my mix. Didn't want to spray the water that I had on my glasses, get them all sticky and stuff. I did have 2 bottles with me, but one fell off the car on the way to the race and broke. So I bought a Propel fitness water I had sitting at my pit stop here. Trying to use it to clean off the glasses at this point. It worked decent, but I'm thinking that maybe the little bit of flavoring in there just made them sticky enough that it seemed to clog them up much faster. So wasn't as effective as I was hoping. Coming around, getting ready to start the final lap of the race. At this point, I was feeling for the guys that were going to race Cat 2. The track was really torn up, rutted pretty bad, and water was just coming like crazy from springs and from the rain. So conditions were much worse here on this 3rd lap, and not looking like they were going to improve anytime soon.
Took off the glasses. Can't freaking see a thing.
So the Propel fitness water wash lasted all of like 4 minutes. I was clogged up to the point that I just took them off, hung them on my shirt, and really at this point I'm more concerned about not losing those glasses, which are pretty costly, and just surviving through the trail. My vision's not the best. I'm monovision, so I have farsightedness in one eye, left and nearsighted in the other. Makes it tough for me to really see contour and stuff, especially at speed on the trail. So if I start out riding without them, I do decent, but when I go from glasses to none, it takes a while for my eyes to adjust. So you add that with the fact that you get occasional mud in the eye, and I was content to just kind of coast in here and get there without wrecking.
Good, man.
Thank you.
guy past there is the only single speed rider of the day. We were joking at the start line that at least he was going to take first. So we go back and forth a little bit on this third lap, but he does pass me on a climb and hold it, because I just, by that point, with the mud in the eyes and the vision I had, I just was kind of done with trying to push at all. So he does come in front of me.
Sorry, buddy, I'm going to have to pass you.
Yeah, good.
Single speed, huh?
If you can get it.
You'll pass me again, surely. I'm just going up this hill.
Yeah. Well, hey, I know you got first place.
It's surviving, man.
I tell you, I had to take my glasses off. I couldn't see.
I hear you.
again, for a quick plug, if you're enjoying the channel, please like, subscribe, share it out. Hopefully, as we go, we'll get some content where the camera's actually clear, get some nice ones together. That log over there was the one I was talking about early on lap 1, where you really got to stay left and watch out for that tree. So did it there that time pretty clean, got it last lap as well. The view on the camera clearing up a little bit, but you know, it is what it is today.
Hey, stay dry. Thank you.
Quick shout out to all the course marshals at this race, and really all of them. Appreciate the volunteers that show up to help keep the riders safe. Basically one of their reasons being there, make sure if anyone needs help, there's somebody nearby to call out and get them. So that guy had been sitting there cheering for me all day, so wanted to give him some kudos as well, along with any of the other guys and women who were hanging out. Thank you.
At this point, I'm more concerned about not losing my glasses, expensive as they are, and without them I can't see that well anyways. With them I couldn't see that well either. They're getting all spotted up, muddy. Got mud in my eye.
trying to blink it out.
Hoping I'd have enough battery for the full race, but once again I either rode too slow or the battery died too quick. I did get a good result for the day. Should be probably one of my 7 races that'll score. Caught up to some of the guys I am competing with, and race count at 2, so good setup in the standings right now. Felt a lot better about my result when reviewing the lap times and the number of DNFs for the day. I was glad to finish. I was expecting temperatures in the 50s. Watching the temp gauge through the race here, it was pretty much 46 to 48 the whole day. It took a little over 2 hours for me to get feeling back at my fingertips on the way home and stuff, and cleanup was a mess. Wanted to give a shout out to the young guy and father who parked beside me, getting ready for the Cat 3 race. Hope that went well. Young guy had some buddies with him too, 3-4 racers. They all looked ready to roll, so I hope you guys had a fun race, and hope you are checking out the site. And if so, you know, see if you can catch up with me next race. We can talk about how things go. If you guys are doing other races in the series, I plan on being on pretty much every race. May not be at the New Jersey one. It's a little bit of a distance for me to get there in time for start, but I may try a couple this year. This is my 4th year in the series, 2nd at the Cat 1 level, so certainly still learning, trying to get up to speed, and we'll see how it goes. I appreciate you guys hanging around and watching today. Again, if you can, like and or subscribe, share this out to some friends. Check out the American Porphyria Foundation website. If you have charitable giving you give, try to consider them as somebody to give to. They're a good patient advocacy group for people with the condition. Go on there, learn a little bit about the condition itself and the organization. I serve as a member of their member advisory board for going on 2 years now, and under treatment for my EPP. And actually I have new treatment coming up the day after the French Creek race, so
I'm gonna come around you, okay?
Yeah, good luck, good luck.
Thanks.
Yep.
I'm gonna drive.
You too. I can't see shit anymore, so
Yeah.
I had to take off my glasses and they're script, so kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Have a safe ride, man.
got cut off a bit with the talking on the bike there, but once again, thanks for your view of the video here. Hope you enjoyed, and hopefully we'll get some better footage in the races upcoming. Coming down the closing seconds here on the race footage that we had today, and looks like it maybe just about half that third lap. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching.